thanks for coming in. All right, so I want to thank everybody for being here and to thank all the DelDOT employees who continue to show an incredible level of dedication to keeping Delawareans safe in very difficult conditions. As you know, we expect more of these conditions beginning late tonight and well into tomorrow. We always hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst. And the National Weather Service has been clear that this is expected to be a very significant storm. According to our people in emergency management, this is our 17th and possibly most significant event of the season. The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm warning in Delaware effective 9 p.m. tonight through 4 p.m. tomorrow. Forecasts call for 6 to 10 inches in the northern part of the state, 8 to 10 inches in central Delaware, and also 8 to 10 inches in southern Delaware, Sussex County. Temperatures are expected to fall well below freezing and to be as much as 25 degrees below normal for this time of year. We ask everybody to exercise extreme caution. So here's the latest of how we're preparing for the storm. Earlier this afternoon, I issued an executive order authorizing the pre-positioning of the Delaware National Guard. This authorizes the Guard to take precautionary or responsive actions directed by the Director of our Emergency Management Agency and in consultation with our Secretary of Safety and Homeland Security. At this time, I'm announcing the State of Delaware offices will be closed on Monday, March 3rd. During regular business hours, it's 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Non-essential employees are not to report to work for this period. Essential employees are to report as scheduled. I'm also announcing that as of midnight tonight, there will be a state of emergency in effect in Delaware. That goes for Newcastle, Kent, and Sussex counties, in other words, for the entire state. The state of emergency will allow us to issue a level 1 driving warning, which will also go into effect at midnight. That means any person operating a motor vehicle must exercise extra caution. Non-essential employees, regardless of whether employed by a public or private entity, are encouraged to stay off of the state's roadways when a level 1 driving warning has been activated, unless there's a significant safety, health, or business reason to do so. We also encourage employers to monitor the conditions and not put their employees in any harm's way unnecessarily. We will consider additional restrictions, but that being said, we're not in a position at this moment to issue a level 2 or level 3 driving restriction. That would prohibit people from driving if they've not been deemed essential, no matter their individual situation. These kinds of restrictions should be reserved for extreme cases. We'll continue to closely monitor the situation overnight and throughout tomorrow to determine if an additional restriction is required. Now, in recent emergencies, whether it was last month's big snowfall or going back to Hurricane Sandy, we've been able to keep people safe because we've had great cooperation from the people of Delaware. In most storms, the highest snowfall totals occur farther north, but our forecasts indicate that the Dover area will bear the biggest brunt of this storm. I want to especially urge everybody in Kent County and Sussex County to ensure you're prepared for extreme weather and that you're prepared to be unable to travel. As always, we urge all Delaware residents to have essential items, including medication, food, and batteries, before the snow begins to fall. Now, today, DelDOT has put together a plan to be ready for the worst conditions. The department has done a tremendous job staying prepared throughout the winter, and I want to assure Delawareans that the state's salt supply is sufficient to meet our projected needs for this storm. In Newcastle County, all crews will report tonight at 8 p.m., and in Kent, all crews will report at midnight, and Sussex managers will report at 1 a.m. and be able to call in personnel as necessary. Hundreds of DelDOT crews will begin work on the more than 13,000 lane miles for which they're responsible. As many as 500 employees take part in snow removal operations, and about 450 vehicles are available. Now, we ask for your patience as conditions are shaping up to make this a particularly challenging event for DelDOT. Because the forecast for snow is to fall at a rate of as much as 1 inch or 2 inches an hour, it will be difficult for DelDOT to stay ahead of the accumulation on primary roads. So for this reason, secondary and minor roads may not be attended to until the snowfall stops sometime tomorrow. And in addition, with the storm likely to start as a rain event tonight It would not be effective to pre-treat roads with the brine since it will wash off in the rain. So there's two differences for many of the storms. In fact, it really does not make any sense for DelDOT to be pre-treating the roads with brine because it would just wash away. And also the snow could be falling so quickly it's going to be difficult for DelDOT plows to keep up with the accumulation. Now another consideration to keep in mind in the coming days are the dangers we've all seen posed by the many potholes created during this very difficult storm season. Now our crews have already filled approximately 4,400 potholes, but permanent fixes are difficult to accomplish when we're experiencing freezing, thawing, and then refreezing conditions. So final reminder, motorists who must travel should use extreme caution as weather conditions may change rapidly over the course of the storm. Remember to reduce speed and increase the following distance between vehicles. Allow ample time to reach your destination and use headlights to increase visibility. If you should have vehicle problems, be sure to stay with your vehicle, as freezing temperatures can be life-threatening. Be sure to have an emergency kit in the vehicle, including blanket, bottled water, a snack, cell phone charger, flashlight, and flares. And with so much accumulation expected, residents should use caution when they go outside to clear sidewalks. You've got to stay hydrated, dress in layers, and take breaks as needed to avoid injury, exhaustion, frostbite, or hypothermia. There's a potential for power outages, so have flashlights and batteries nearby and have your cell phone fully charged. If you lose power, do not call 911 to report it. Call your local power company. Don't use candles. Keep major appliances closed. If you have a generator, make sure it exhausts to the outside to reduce the buildup of carbon monoxide inside the home. Check on your neighbors, please, especially the elderly and people with disabilities. We're being regularly updated by the National Weather Service on the forecast and its impact on the state, and we'll use this information coupled with updates from various state agencies and local municipalities to keep residents informed via the web at news.delaware.gov or DEMA.delaware.gov. We'll also be active on social media, and we'll, of course, use the support of the local and regional media outlets. Now, in addition to the DelDOT team, I want to acknowledge that thousands of other essential state employees who must report to work despite the weather and road conditions, from our state police, our Department of Correction, medical facilities, our facilities management team, our 24-hour centers for youth in Delaware, our National Guard. We very much appreciate your dedication and your commitments to your job despite the weather forecast. So that's all I have for right now. I'll be happy to take any questions you all may have.
Governor Markell, can you talk about the significance of this storm for Delaware compared to the other storms we've seen this winter?
Well, we've had some tough storms. The challenge, for this one is one, as I mentioned, that we can't pre-treat the roads with the brine because it would just wash away. We're seeing the rain out there already. The snow is likely to come down at such a pace that it's going to be difficult for DelDOT to keep up. I think that DelDOT's just done an unbelievable job this winter, and they're going to do an unbelievable job again. But it's going to take them some time because the snow is going to be coming down so quickly, and particularly difficult for some of the secondary and the minor roads.
Governor, making the announcement now, is that a hope that people will react to it and be more prepared instead of waking up tomorrow morning not sure?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we have, we've had a couple of National Weather Service forecast calls today already. I think we have a pretty good sense. We know, in this case, it's going to be really hitting during the rush hour. We want to give people time to prepare. DelDOT actually sent a release out about 4 hours ago to make sure that people knew and could get their food and everything like that. So we want people to prepare. We also are sending a message to employers to please not put your employees in harm's way. And we're not in a position right now to declare a level 2 or a level 3 emergency, because that literally means that drivers would be arrested if they're out on the road when they shouldn't be. And that's a very significant call. We're going to continue to monitor conditions to see if some kind of additional restriction is necessary. But we do think it's important that people understand it's going to be a lot of snow. It's going to get unbelievably cold. Basically, Monday night to Tuesday, we're going to be in the single digits. People have to be very, very careful out there.
From the weather reports you've heard so far, do you expect any kind of deviation from what you understand it's going to be? at
Well,
this point?
the information that I just gave is as of about 10 minutes. I was sitting in the parking lot getting the latest report. So, you know, but we're going to be talking to them at 4:30 in the morning as well. They've been pretty confident on this particular storm, and we've been following on the maps, you know, really for the last 24 hours or so, and seeing where that band is likely to hit. And pretty much the whole state is likely to be hit. So, you know, this storm is a little bit different than some of the other ones in that more of the accumulation is going to be down south. You know, as you know, I think the last storm we got hit up north a lot, and in Sussex County they hardly got anything. This is going to be a little bit different, and Kent and Sussex counties are likely to really get hammered on this one.
Any chance of a proclamation that this is our last one?
If I could do it, I would. I can tell you that.
How many times has the state had to close so far this year?
I don't know. It seems like a lot. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know that this is true. It almost feels like it's as much this year as it's been cumulative in the last 4 years. I'm not sure that's quite true, but it's pretty close.
Is there a way to sort of measure what the impact is on for state offices? I mean, you having people not be able to do their job?
Yeah, I mean, this is a real impact. I mean, starting with the snow removal piece alone, as of a couple of days ago, so not including the storm, we had spent in excess of $13 million in snow removal, compared to a budget of about $3.5 million. We have used 77,000 tons of salt, over more than 80,000 hours of overtime, and we're, I don't know how these DelDOT folks do it, because they're like starting, I told you, they're coming in the middle of the night, when the rest of us are sleeping, and they've got to somehow get through it, and they do. And so we really ask for the patience and the support of the people of Delaware to recognize the unbelievable effort our state employees are making. So beyond that, there's also an impact. I don't have the dollar figures, but this has been expensive and trying in many, many ways for so many people. And I think for those of us again who do have the luxury of being in our beds in the middle of the night, there are a lot of employees, state employees, whether it's DelDOT workers, whether it's people at the Department of Correction, whether it's our state police, whether it's people at the 24-hour centers for youth, our medical facilities, the National Guard. I mean, there are a lot of people who are really trying to make things better for the rest of us, and we're so grateful to them. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming out. I'm sure that Jonathan will be in touch with respect to tomorrow, where you're going to be. I'm going to try to get down to Kent County probably in the morning. I want to get down to the emergency to see the Transportation Management Center, and I'll be out and about. And I'm sure if you want to connect tomorrow, we'll figure out a way to do that. And I want to thank these guys. Did you want to say something? No. Did you have something? Okay. Thank you, and please tell. So what time is everybody doing here? 8 o'clock? So what are they going to do, Stuart?
They'll start loading up, and then they'll go out and pre-position and link to